In a quaint village named Willowbrook, surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, stood an old cottage by the edge of a serene lake.
The cottage, with its ivy-covered walls and blooming flower beds, was home to an elderly woman named Clara. Clara had lived in the cottage for as long as she could remember, finding peace and joy in the simple pleasures of life by the lake. Every morning, Clara would wake up to the soft chirping of birds and the gentle lapping of the lake's waters against the shore. She would brew herself a cup of herbal tea and sit on the porch, watching the mist rise from the lake as the sun began to warm the day. Her days were filled with tending to her garden, knitting by the fire, and enjoying the company. Clara's garden was her pride and joy. It was a haven of vibrant flowers, aromatic herbs, and neatly trimmed shrubs. She had a special fondness for roses, and her garden boasted an impressive variety, from delicate pinks to deep, velvety reds. The garden was not only a feast for the eyes, but also a sanctuary for butterflies, bees, and birds, creating. One sunny afternoon, as Clara was pruning her roses, she noticed a young woman standing at the edge of her garden. The woman looked lost and a little weary. Clara waved her over and introduced herself. "Hello there, I'm Clara. Can I help you with something?" she asked kindly. The young woman smiled shyly. "Hello, I'm Emily. I was just passing through and couldn't help but admire your beautiful garden. It's so peaceful here." Clara invited Emily to sit with her on the porch and offered her a cup of tea. As they sipped their tea, Emily shared her story. She was an artist from the bustling city, feeling overwhelmed and burnt out. She had come to Willowbrook in search of inspiration and a place to unwind. Clara listened attentively, her heart going out to the young woman. "You're welcome to stay here for as long as you need," she offered. "This cottage and the garden have a way of soothing the soul." Emily gratefully accepted the offer and soon settled into the rhythm of life at the cottage. She spent her days sketching and painting, finding endless inspiration in the garden, the lake, and the surrounding countryside. Clara and Emily developed a close bond, sharing stories, laughter, and moments of quiet reflection. One evening, as they sat by the lake watching the sunset, Clara shared a special story with Emily. She spoke of how the cottage had been passed down through generations in her family. Her grandmother had planted the first roses, and her mother had added the herb garden. Each generation had added their own touch, creating a legacy of love and care. "There's a certain magic in this place," Clara said softly. "It's a place of healing and renewal. My hope is that everyone who stays here carries a piece of that magic with them." Emily felt a deep sense of gratitude for Clara's kindness and the tranquil beauty of the cottage. She realized that the time spent in Willowbrook had not only rejuvenated her creativity, but had also brought her a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. As the weeks turned into months, Emily's artwork flourished. Her paintings captured the essence of the cottage, the garden, and the lake, reflecting the serene beauty and the gentle magic that surrounded her. She knew it was time to return to the city, but she also knew she would carry the spirit of Willowbrook with her always. On her last day at the cottage, Emily painted a special piece for Clara. It was a vibrant depiction of the garden, with the cottage in the background and the lake shimmering in the distance. She presented it to Clara with tears in her eyes, grateful for the time they had shared. "Thank you, Clara," Emily said, her voice filled with emotion. "You've given me more than I could ever repay." Clara hugged Emily tightly. "You have a home here, always," she replied. "Remember to take the magic with you and let it guide you." Emily left Willowbrook with a heart full of gratitude and a soul rejuvenated. She returned to the city, where her art quickly gained recognition for its depth and beauty. Her paintings of the serene cottage by the lake touched the hearts of many, and she often spoke of the magical place that had inspired her. Years passed, and Clara continued to welcome visitors to her cottage, each one finding their own sense of peace and renewal. The garden flourished, the roses bloomed, and the lake continued to shimmer in the sunlight. The legacy of love and care lived on, carried forward by the magic of the serene cottage by the lake.